Good afternoon. My name is Hanaa. I am the CEO of Wonder Inc. and I am an academic researcher. I also am an educator and I work on policy, education policy and strategy in the Middle East and the Gulf states. And all of my work is really grounded in kind of the human experience. I truly believe that if we are going to build learning systems, they need to be grounded in young people's aspirations and reflect the lived experience of working and learning in their day-to-day. And this is my colleague, Mike.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Mike Bond and I'm Chief Brand Officer at Wonder Inc. I'm also an educator specialising in developing the creative confidence of young people as well as the organisations and products that support them. And we're really pleased to be here today to be able to talk about our work. And we're very proud of the fact that we are a British Saudi leadership team leading Wonder Inc. in the work that we do.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what we do at Wonder Inc. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into a product that we're working on around young people and careers and AI. But Wonder Inc. really does kind of combine AI, brand, and education thinking to redesign learning platforms and careers platforms.
So we are founded by two agencies coming together. Those agencies are Bond and Coin and Prolego MENA. And that means we bring together experience of working with governments around the world, major corporations, consultancies, and academic institutions of different kinds. And together we create a range of learning platforms and digital experiences to support learners of different kinds, at different ages, at different stages of their careers. And you can see a few examples of those on the screen here.
So I think one of the things that's really important is the way that we work, which is we don't really necessarily start at one entry point, but we think that all three of these dimensions of what we do are intertwined and whether they work together. So stakeholder and research, stakeholder engagement and research isn't just an entry point. It's not just something that we do once, but actually it's part of what we do throughout. And we combine that with digital development, the kind of AI and the user experience, as well as brand. And these three things work together to come and bring you what Wonder Inc. delivers at the heart of it.
And typically, these services, these threads of work, they happen in sequence. They tend to be about step-by-step process. So you've got insight and engagement, you've got UX and UI, and you have technology development, and then you have brand. And typically, projects may start with insight that lays the foundation. Then you have development of a technological solution. And then you have brand that comes at the end to give it a name, give it a tone of voice, and to get it out into the world. Now, people will be very familiar with agile development processes and waterfall processes. And we're not challenging that, but what we are challenging is how we embed insight throughout the whole of that development process and actually begin the process with brand embedded too.
So it's all woven together, really, and it's the insight is a spiral process that happens at multiple entry points through not just initial kind of engagement, but also through speaking to the users throughout the process. We bring together groups of people. We have a student council in one of the projects that we're working on that is constantly using and helping us iterate and make sure that what we're doing is speaking to them. So yeah, we really do think that these things definitely come together as a fabric. And without combining the three of them at every kind of point, you lose part of the actual experience that young people have when they're using, or anyone has when they're using the technology that we're building.
And we've seen for ourselves the impact that can happen when you bring these services and ways of thinking together and entwine them from the start. And one of the big things is that brand can often be brought in towards the end, and it can be treated as a bit of a wraparound skin, but actually brand can act as a backbone for a project. And we believe when you do that, when you combine these things successfully, what it means is you can bring a vision to life really early in your process. And if you're able to do that, then you can galvanize your internal teams much sooner behind your ambition and get them fully involved in your development. It also means that you're able to create something that is truly ownable from much earlier in the process. And when your teams and potential partners see that you've got something that's ownable, you start to form partnerships. And again, this is our experience of working together in this way, is that partnerships are much more forthcoming earlier in the process if you have brand on board from the beginning. Then, because you're building partnerships, you've got something ownable, and you can start to develop awareness even before the end of the development process. And once the development process is done, because you've been thinking about brand, you've been thinking about campaign from the start, you are launch ready, you are market ready from the moment your development process is finished.
We also make sure that what we're doing is grounded in sound research and everything is pedagogically sound. So this is a learning platform, meaning that we understand how people learn, how people consume information in different ways. And we take that information and embed it into the design process as well. Because we know that there are a lot of solutions out there where learners could be getting the information that they need, but they don't really want to be on those platforms because they're not engaging. So by doing it this way, we're creating spaces where learners want to be. So even if the solutions exist, this is a solution that we feel is speaking to the learner because we've embedded not only the research into it, but also what their actual needs are and understanding that they will learn in different ways, which isn't necessarily completely new, but by doing it in this way, we do feel like the evidence shown us, young people are on our platforms and using our platforms very differently than they might use other platforms. And we have some evidence of that in some of the things that we've designed. But really, they get excited to talk about it and share it with other people. And that's the thing that really is the best. So I think we're going to show you a little bit of the work that we're doing.
Well, yeah, and I'll just mention one of our earlier projects, which was something that we launched in the UK when we saw the number of young people turning away from creative subjects at school. We thought, what could we step in and do about that with our knowledge of brand, our knowledge of digital, and also our knowledge of young people? Well, we stepped in and we created a site called wonderwhat.co.uk, which works a little bit like how Instagram works, and it shows a continuous scroll of student work from across all creative disciplines. And all the young people have to do is start to like the images that they're drawn to. And once they've liked at least 5, it starts to recommend potential career pathways that they wish to explore. It's got live jobs available near to them, region by region across the UK. And we've got videos of young people and young professionals talking about what it's like to work in each of the creative disciplines. Now, the reason we know this is working is because young people are using it, schools are adopting it, and actually the average dwell time for young people on wonderwhat.co.uk is around 5 minutes. And it's not uncommon for dwell times to be in the seconds, so we know that this is resonating with young people. So what we did actually following this was we took some of the principles of WonderWhat and we've applied it to a Saudi Arabian context.
So this is Akun. Akun, again, you can see the brand is something that we thought about from the very beginning because it means I am or to be in Arabic. And so we want young people to understand from day one, from just looking at this, that this is something about them. And Akun is a career guidance platform, which it could have been called Saudi Career Guidance Platform. But by calling it Akun, we know that young people are drawn to themselves within this platform. And so this is what we mean by bringing in the user experience, the design, and the pedagogy from day one. So Akun is a national careers platform for Saudi Arabia. It is designed with the young person at the center of the journey, thinking about what they might want to do. And we'll show you a little bit how that journey works. But it's also very, very context specific. So we're thinking about what the opportunities for the young people within Saudi Arabia are based on kind of what Saudi Arabia is going through in terms of a social and economic transformation with Vision 2030. So we're bringing kind of the entire map of opportunity to young people, but helping them understand where their place is within this massive vision and transformation process that's happening at the moment.
So this is where the brand thinking really kicks in. So we're starting off by naming it in a very particular way, which makes ethos visible from the start. But also we're deliberately designing this so it does not look like careers education. So through its aesthetic, we are saying this is different probably from what you've experienced before when you try to learn about your career options. But also we're letting young people know that they are in control of the experience as well. So Akuan starts with a quiz about interests, traits, and passions. But the way that the learners answer their questions is by sliding sliders on the screen. And as they slide to choose their answer, that changes the abstract graphic on the screen. So we are literally telling them, you are in control. This site is for you. This site is different. And actually, you are in control as well.
And what it does from that is it kind of opens up a range of recommendations for the young person that are built on kind of what it is that they have said within the responses to those questions. And so it gives them a profile of themselves, and then it recommends, based on those answers, kind of different sectors or job opportunities that they could pursue. And it gives them an idea of why those recommendations were made. What are the traits that are within them from that answer that kind of make the program recommend those specific things? And it gives them real evidence that they could use to have a conversation with adults in their family and their peers. So what might my salary be when I start? Where might I work? What are the companies that might be hiring? So even if you're 13 years old and you're using this, you do know that this is a career pathway that is viable and acceptable and available to you. And so we used a lot of the research on how people make career decisions to just design this in a way where it's starting with a young person, but it is answering those questions that they have and responding to some of the fears that they have around, how am I going to talk to my parents about this? What if this isn't, there's no future in this? And so that information is there, but how they start and what kinds of questions they're asking is a little bit different from what they might be used to.
And we're really keen to give the users autonomy and choice to interact as they wish with the platform. So we built in an AI chat function with really strong guardrails in there to enable them to share their interests and passions that way. And then the system can recommend potential career routes they may wish to investigate themselves. And that draws on text-based information from across the site, but also visual elements across the site too. And it is designed to answer questions and around concerns, for example, around confidence in university interviews. It's also set up so that parents can ask questions if they're concerned about the sustainability of certain career choices too.
And what it really does is also give young people an opportunity to build community around where their choices might take them. So in thinking about where they might actually study, they can go in and see what other people think about the universities or different colleges that might be available to them. And by putting colleges and universities and other training programs all in one place, we're trying to really get the message of equity of opportunity and pathway across to the students as well. We want them to understand that there is no right or wrong choice in terms of academic or training destination, and all of them will lead you to a different type of career. And so again, the information is there. You can understand a little bit more about the institutions. And this is something that we think that Saudi students can really use in order to help them make better decisions about what they're going to study and where.
And then we think it's really important throughout the whole of this platform, and actually anything to do with careers really, is to balance the inclusion of information with the inclusion of inspiration. But following that, we also believe it's important to support young people to take action if they wish. So we might have opened up a pathway that they're now intrigued to follow. How can we support them by enabling them to actually do something about that? So we're building in the opportunity for virtual work experiences, micro-credentials, and other forms of learning in connection with our commercial partners and cultural organizations as well.
Yeah, so a lot of the commercial partners are putting real live experiences onto the platform for young people to really try out their passion or whatever sector might have been recommended for them. We know that a lot of young people will really have their heart set on something and have an experience in that sector and really change their mind very quickly. So we want them to be able to pursue some of these ideas in real time. There are also opportunities for volunteering and opportunities for real internships within our kind of partner organizations, companies, and institutions, so they can really understand what it would look like if you want to be, an accountant. Well, what's that like in a school? What's that like if I work for a kind of a film institute, or what that might be like if I work for a studio, or how that looks and feels in a different context as well. Yeah, we also make sure that young people can tap into the resources that are available within the ecosystem already. So there are a lot of podcasts, a lot of videos that are already out there. So we link those into the platform as well. So there's curated social media accounts that young people can access and understand more about the different industries and sectors that they're looking at. We also are creating our own films to inspire young people to pursue different career pathways and different sectors that they might not have thought about, and spotlighting career paths through interviewing people who have gone through that journey, maybe through squiggly journeys that have landed them in different places that they wouldn't have expected to be in. And increasingly in this world of kind of portfolio careers, we want young people to understand that there is not one single pathway, and all of these resources really help us showcase that for them.
So really, with building a platform that places the learners at the center, we're building it through knowledge of people, working directly with people, and we're providing the opportunity for our partners, no matter who they are, whether they're in cultural organizations, not-for-profits, commercial or academic institutions, to tell their stories on here. But we're also looking to grow communities of learners who share interests and passions as well. So it is design-centered, it is about innovation and AI, but at the heart of it, really, it's about people. So that's Akun, and we're Wonder Inc. Thank you.
Thank you.